Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today on Tallidus Plays, we're playing some Project Zomboid. Starting a brand new playthrough here. We're going to be starting our game off in Muldraw. We have picked Burglar as our occupation. I'm a big fan of the Burglar's ability to hotwire vehicles from the very start of the game. Gives us a lot more of flexibility when it comes to finding cars. Let's pick some traits here. Again, we need this point system to work out. You basically want your points to be 0. You can't start the game if it's negative, so a few traits that I personally like to pick are overweight, because you tend to lose weight pretty fast. So that's actually going to help us a little earlier in the game. High thirst is another good one, because water is usually pretty plentiful. And if we don't find enough bottles, we can always just grab more water from rain barrels and whatnot. Let's see, what else? Prone to illness. Not a huge fan of. I might grab it though. Weak stomach. Grab this one because I don't intend to eat any bad food. And what else do we have here? Really don't want to take anything else that bad for us. Let's do slow healer. Again, that's if we get injured or illnesses, we'll heal a little bit slower, but hopefully we can avoid injuries and illnesses for the most part. Keen hearing, larger perception radius. This I love to take as a positive trait, because that's going to basically give us a little bit of eyes in the back of our head. We'll hear a zombie coming up before it actually gets to us. So let's grab that. 9 more points to spend. What else? I like to take wakeful. Actually, no, outdoorsman is good. It's only 2 points, but it helps you with those harsh weather conditions. Dexterous is very nice for moving things between inventory items. And cat size, better vision at night. That's good for me and for any viewers of the video, so it's kind of a win-win there. What else do we have? Let's see. I got 3 more points to spend. So we'll do Fast Reader and Speed Demon. Why not? So 0 points. Used all of our traits. Let's create our character here. We'll do Tallidus as our name. And our surname will be Plays with a Z-E there. I do like the mullet. That's kind of dope. So we'll keep that. The beard type, let's go full beard. Yeah. Can we put on some glasses? Excellent. And I think that'll do it. We'll keep the mullet for now. And we'll start up our game as Tallidus Plays. And here we go. These are the end times. There was no hope of survival. This is how you died. Loading up our game here now. Click to start. And we are in it. First thing we do is always switch our channel to Life and Living, and we turn the volume down to 3 usually. We'll get our chicken noodle soup recipe. And if we tap C, we go into crouch mode. Oh, carpentry volume 1. I might actually go ahead and grab that. That'll come in handy. And I'm going to stay near enough to get this cooking experience. Again, you only get the TV channels as long as the power is on. It's been a little bit since I've played this game, so I know they've done a few more updates to it, some new animations, I believe some new interactions. It looks like even more textures on the shirts. I can see the little KY for Kentucky on my polo here, so that's kind of cool. Emerald Lagasse here finishes, I think that's KY. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, that's the end of that. I'll turn it off. Now we keep our eyes open for our first weapon. Leather jacket, we'll wear that. Doesn't hurt to have a little bit of extra protection. A saw is good to have. Throw that on here. Again, you don't want to overload yourself in the beginning of the game. You want to find a weapon and maybe some of the essentials. So painkillers, those are light, good to have. Okay, I'm not worried about clothes too much right now. I mean, you can see the damage of each item. I'm going to, I guess, equip the frying pan as my primary weapon until I find something better. We'll eat, let's see, the water bottle, I'll grab this. And basically you want to eat anything that's going to go bad sooner than later. Again, you keep power for sort of an indeterminate amount of time. Usually it's like a week or two the power will stay on. So we don't want to chomp on everything just yet, but we are going to eat some healthier foods. Again, our character is technically overweight. We have a can opener and some canned foods, so that's nice. This will be a good little base of operations to come back to. Also, in your starting house, there will never be a zombie, so you don't have to worry about zombies popping out of, rooms while you're exploring the first house that you spawn into. However, they can crawl in from outside, so it's still something to be a little bit wary of. Okay, denim shirt, lumberjack shirt. I do like that sweater. It's got better scratch defense. This denim shirt has much better scratch defense. So we'll wear this instead of our polo. Guess we're wearing that over the polo, okay. Also, things to keep an eye out for at the beginning. Like right here, I'm going to grab this blue pen. That way we can mark up our map. Also, you want to keep your eye out for some basic medicine. Tweezers, bottle of disinfectant are good to grab. Get something stuck. And that's nothing too crazy there. Another thing to look out for is a watch. Ideally a digital watch. It'll give you a readout on the real-time temperature. Crouch here. Also, obviously, the watch will tell you what time it is, so you can start planning your viewership of the TV. I believe the TV has 3 episodes a day. I think 1 in the morning at 6, 1 in the afternoon at 12, and then 1 in the evening at 6 p.m. Take care of this zombie here. And the best I could come up with is the frying pan, so we're just going to have to deal with that for now. Not ideal, but it is the best weapon that we could find in our starting house. Again, stay away from any hot spots. Even that is a lot of zombies. Although I do like that there's a tire iron down there. I'll keep that in mind. Very nice looking vehicle right here. This might be our first vehicle that we hotwire. Sneak through these bushes. Again, be aware that you might cause sound when you go through a bush. So we've attracted a few more of our zombie friends. I'm going to turn on a setting in a minute here to stop getting attacked. That will help me during combat. I'll show you that in a second here. Oh, and there we go. Military boots, that's what I was looking for. It's another really good option for footwear. Go and drop our sneakers. Again, these are basically Converse sneakers, so they're not doing a lot to help us. Classic, it's not digital, but we'll wear it anyways. That'll give us an idea of the time of day. Now if we hit escape and we go to our options, we want to go down on display, and we want to show aim, outline, any weapon. Apply that and accept. Now we will get a nice outline around any zombie that we're aiming at, even if we're using a melee weapon, which will basically make things a lot more streamlined for combat. And I know that the next TV show comes on at noon, so let's go ahead and grab fishing volume 1. I like to look for volume 1s because those are going to give you a leg up on your skills. This on Volume 3 and Life and Living. Tuning it in. Alright. I'll come through here checking things out. I hear something scratching around in here. I don't like that. Club hammer. That's actually pretty good. I'm going to put that on my belt. Again, if you store an item on your belt, it doesn't use as much weight. Right now we have almost 6.5 pounds out of 12 pounds of weight in our inventory. Pipe wrench, another good item to have. That is useful as a weapon, or even to help with plumbing later on in the game. And you want to plumb rain barrels into a... Yes, I do hear that smashing sound. That seems to be a zombie trying to come in from one of the windows or the doors. 100.4 is our automated emergency broadcast system. So if you look at any radio, you can see the pre-existing channels. And that banging is very frustrating. Let's eat some chips. Again, normally you'd want to save dry food, but I'm being kind of lazy right now. Anything in the freezer? Yes. So, and again, frozen items are good to save in the early game because they are frozen. They'll last a little bit longer. What is going on? What is all that racket? Let's go upstairs. There's got to be somebody upstairs. I think I see it. It's this door over here. You can see the door kind of wiggling. Be ready to fight. And now you see that green outline. Gives us a nice clear indication of what we're actually trying to swing our frying pan at. There we go. And he's down. Oh, this was a ranger. Okay. Nothing very useful on the body. And I am a little sweaty. That's because I'm wearing this big old jacket right now. So I have to keep that in mind. Oh, our TV show's coming on. Let's run downstairs. This is carpentry. Actually, I have my carpentry volume 1 here. I don't know if I'm even going to really be able to use this because you gain very quick skills when you're watching the TV shows. That's why you want to try to catch them whenever possible during the first week. I think I missed part of the show, but that's alright. Woodcraft. Okay. Turn the TV off for now. You can also find VHS tapes of the exact same shows. If you missed them in the early game, you can still watch them later on. But generally by that point in the game, you've hopefully leveled up enough on your own. Let's see, anything useful in here? No. Bathrooms are always good for medicinal purposes. We have adhesive bandages, great to use. I'm not going to grab that pipe wrench because I already have one, and they're pretty heavy. Also, I'm keeping an eye out for any car keys. I can hotwire that van outside, but I'd rather find the keys for it. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case, though, so... Let's check here. I'm slightly moist. Okay, so we got a little bit of sweat going on. And again, you still have plumbing for the first part of the game, so you can wash yourself, you can fill your water bottle. You can also drink directly from the sinks, which is safe. You do not want to drink contaminated water. Also, who loves orange soda? Let me know in the comments if you know who loves orange soda. If you don't, that's okay. It'd be a lot cooler if you did, though. Alright. Let's see if we can Actually, we might not even need to hotwire this thing. It's locked. Let's get an idea here. You can pop the hood on any vehicle to see the status of the vehicle itself. This one looks pretty good. However, it's out of gas. There's no gas in the tank. So that is unfortunate. Even if we were able to hotwire it, we couldn't drive it anywhere. So, just go around. All the doors are locked. Okay, so we'll keep this marked for now. Tap M, open up your map. And again, I have that blue pen, so we can click on some of these icons. And click the home icon there to indicate that we do have a nice little safe zone here with a few more supplies left in it. I'd like to mark this vehicle as well, so let's just put Is there a gas icon I can mark to show that I need gas? I don't know. We can add notes as well, so these are custom notes. So we can click here and say need gas, and that'll leave it there. Let me double check my surroundings. Okay, one other thing before I forget, I did check and saw that we figured out our emergency frequency is 100.4 FM, and that is the emergency frequency. So make a note of that on the map, just so we can access it later on. Again, after about 7 days, give or take, you run the risk of having the helicopter event, which is where a rescue helicopter will attempt to find and save you, but in doing so, they just draw a lot of zombies to your area, so nobody likes that. Speaking of zombies, we've got some closing in on us now. Hopefully I only drew a couple my way. I see that there's a few more down the street, so I don't want to get too close to those guys. Again, isolation is very important in the early game. You don't want to take on too many zombies, because you generally don't have the best weapons. Ooh, digital. So we'll replace our watch with a digital watch. Get rid of that classic one. Let's see what else we got here. Nothing else? Excuse me. Now we have a nice temperature readout, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It's actually pretty nice. Again, I'm streaming from Texas, so 70 degrees Fahrenheit would be amazing at 2 p.m. We're looking at like 90 degrees over here right now. Again, clear your corners. When you walk past the big fence, there might be some zombies sitting on the sides. So, there we are. A few more coming up on us here. And again, I'm not quite sure on the durability of what I have, so something else to be concerned with is your active weapons durability. You hover over your inventory here, and I hover down to the frying pan. The condition's still pretty good, actually. The frying pan lasts for a decent little while. And again, if you have a screwdriver, you can start disassembling these digital watches, which will give you electronic components. Also, that'll help you out with leveling up your, I believe it's mechanical skill. Maybe it's electric. I think it's electrical skill. And usually I would be sneaking with crouch through these areas, but I do want to attract some of the closer zombies. And if you can get them to cross over a fence, they're easy pickings. So use the fences to your advantage. These short fences, if they crawl over them, they always fall over on the other side. So just be careful. You only want to really have one or two at a time anymore, and they can grab you by the ankle, and you have a really bad day. I'm going through the window here. There we go. Again, as a burglar, I have a little bit better time getting through windows. However, you always have to be cautious. When you pry open a window, you might trigger an alarm. And that alarm will draw every zombie. Oh my goodness. Okay. He's outside right now. That's okay. Anyways, I'll grab the suture needle. Like I said, when an alarm goes off, it attracts zombies in a very, very large range. I'm going to grab some sleeping tablets, some painkillers. Again, not to be abused. I'm not going to worry about that guy right now. Ooh. Volume 1 first aid, I'll take that. Again, if you have a stack where it says there's more than one, like that 2 there, you can click and just drag 1 over, because you only need 1. Book, alcohol wipes are good for disinfecting. Not worried. Ooh, bottle of disinfectant, actually. Let's grab that. It's like a giant alcohol wipe. Okay, as you can see, we're almost full in our inventory space, so I'm being a little bit more picky until we find a bag of some sort. Again, you can tell we've got a few more zombies trying to get in. And I'm not freaking out just yet because I would like to leave before they come inside. That one made his way through the window. Let's see, what else do we have here? Keeping my eyes open for anything that's light and useful. What we really want... Actually, I'm going to eat this pear. Okay. good books up here, actually. I'm going to keep this in mind. This might be a nice little safe house, actually, if I keep the bottom clear. So let's make our way back down. Again, at 1800s, or 6 p.m. is when the next TV show comes on. We're going to walk outside. Okay, that one almost got me. That's a little terrifying. Also, if you plan to be using a place as a safe zone, you usually don't want the zombies to shatter all the windows. But if they do get in, you want to bring them outside before you do your killing. That way things are a little bit more tidy on the inside. This could be worse. It says here I'm unpleasantly hot. So what I'm going to do is actually take off this jacket for now. I'm going to keep it in my inventory though, but I'm just going to right-click the jacket and I will unequip it. And that already fixed my overheating. However, now I am overloaded. So how do we fix that? Well, I'm going to probably need to get rid of some of these books. So let's check this vehicle here and see if it's usable. Well, there's a little bit of gas in the tank, and the engine is in somewhat decent condition, 41%. Let's see. I'll check these bodies. Again, if you kill a zombie near a vehicle, there's a chance that they will have the key on them for that vehicle. You can get lucky there, but check the trunk. Sewing kit. That's not bad for injuries. Ooh, excellent. We can get inside, so we don't have to smash any windows. If you tap V, it opens up the vehicle menu, so you can switch seats. I'm going to go over to the driver's seat here. Again, you can look through all these seats just to see if anything useful, like the keys, laying around. If not, we are a burglar, so we tap V and we click Hotwire Engine. And sometimes it takes a couple of tries, and I do believe it generates a little bit of noise, hence our upcoming zombie friend here. Get outside and take care of him real quick. And there he goes. Another watch. I'm going to leave that on him right now. Again, I have too much weight currently, so I'm trying not to pick up too many new items. Again, you can press spacebar to stomp if you don't want to keep using your weapon. Just make sure you have good shoes on, because sometimes stomping can damage your feet. Just like in real life. This game is very, almost hyper-realistic at some points. So we have a hot-wired vehicle. Now, obviously, using a vehicle will generate a lot of noise. So, before I even turn this on, I want to have some idea of where I intend to go with it. Do I need to go anywhere? Maybe I just want to use it to stash some items. Which I think this is what I'm going to do here. If you look at the trunk, a nice big open trunk. So what I'm going to do is grab... I'm going to keep the quick use items, like the adhesive bandages and alcohol wipes. But any of these larger items, I'm going to actually throw into the trunk for now. Orange soda, all my books, even the saw. We don't really need that right now. And the pipe wrench. We don't necessarily need it. I'm going to keep the club hammer on me because we might need a heavy item to hit zombies with later on. Another jacket. Let's throw that out for now. And again, these are all just getting stashed in the trunk of this station wagon. You'll notice my inventory is now a streamlined 3.5 out of 12. So I'm ready to do a lot more looting. And let's mark this on the map. We'll just put a little arrow indicating that this is where I have the station wagon. Again, I'll very likely remember it. We're keeping it kind of small scale right now. I know I have about an hour until our next TV show comes on. Garbage bag. Grab one of those. Garbage bags are pretty light, so it's good to start collecting them earlier on. They become very handy when it comes to creating rain collecting barrels, which I believe take 4 garbage bags to create. So I'm going to hang out here and just kind of eliminate some of the local zombies. There you go. Get down. What do we have here? Oh, emerald earrings. Okay, well, can't really sell those to anybody, so they're not that useful. Oh, hey. So we have somebody in channel here. Two Petty MG. Howdy, howdy. Okay, I'm not sure how I see who's in the chat. This is a brand new stream. Or a first time stream, I should say. Oh, I'm offline. Am I not streaming any of this? Whoops. How am I? Oh my goodness. Alright, well, this might be a quick cut situation here. The video doesn't seem to be displaying. Oh wait, there we go. Now it is. Alright, we'll run inside. It's time for TV time. Close the front door. And it's good to be in the habit of closing doors behind you. Could give you the extra seconds you need to survive. Turn that volume down. You don't want to be blasting. Zombies can hear the TV, so... Can I rest on the couch? Let's see here.
This week he hosted his second annual Global Initiative Forum in New York. More than $7 billion is spent to tackle some of the worst problems in developing countries, such as poverty, disease, and climate change. As part of the conference, Mr. Clinton agreed to his first one-on-one interview ever on Fox News Sunday.
I don't always see who's in my chat. This is interesting. Oh, welcome to the channel here. I'm just watching some TV right now on day one of Project Zomboid. Alright, that's gonna do it. Let's turn this off. Enough of those campaign promises from the governor. Day late, dollar short there. Alright. See, we have a green building up here. Again, buildings in this game are color-coded. So, some of the service buildings, like the medical center there, is pink. All of your residential buildings are going to be kind of that orangey brown. Let's take care of this zombie real quick. Just stay down. Alright. Nothing going there. And then you've got green buildings, which are retail things, like this little convenience store here. Got some more zombies down the alleyway. Let's take care of them. Frying pan for the win. You're about to get sauteed. More digital watches. We'll grab those. We can disassemble later on. If I ever find a screwdriver, that would be ideal. Let's take a peek inside the store. Now these are great to find early on because the fruit stands have fresh fruits and vegetables. They go bad very quickly, so if you're ever going to eat them, now's the time. Otherwise, you can throw them into a freezer, try to save them. For instance, we have this right here, a bunch of ice cream, which is great for packing on calories. Our character is overweight, so we don't need to do that right now. So here's a little tip I picked up while playing this game. You grab all of your fresh items from these stands, and you don't even have to lug them around to your base. You can walk right over to this ice cream freezer and freeze them. That way, they'll last even longer next time we come by this area. Those will freeze up quite nicely. So instead of going bad in a couple days, they could last as long as a week or possibly until the electricity fails on us. Okay. Candy. All those dry foods are good to just kind of leave where they are if you don't want to worry about carrying them around. Let's see, anybody in the stock room? No. Canned food, it's all looking good, but again, for now, I'm going to leave most of this here. Grab your garbage bags, though. already got 4 garbage bags, so we can create a rain collection barrel. It'll be very handy whenever we decide where we're going to actually put our main base. Again, we're in Muldraw. It's one of the smaller starting zones, so our full base might not end up being in this town at all, but we will have to make some sort of home here. Again, you'll see I'm taking my time with these zombies. I'm using spacebar to push them away, and then I'm kind of whacking them individually with the pan. You really don't want to be taking on any more than 1 or 2 at a time. They start kind of grouping up on you, just slowly back away and kind of trail them into one long conga line of zombies. We can check all these bodies for anything useful. I don't see anything that great, so we'll keep moving here. Look at these trunks. Ooh, empty gas can. That's great to find early on. Fill that up at a gas station while it still has power, and use it to fuel some of these better off vehicles. I know we have one van on our map marked earlier. It needs gas in the parking or the driveway of that house. Let's open up these and see if these are worth it. Decent engine, no gas in the tank. It's serviceable. I don't like that engine condition too much. This one looks a lot better off. Let's see. Engine 35%, no gas in the tank. Alright, so these could be better, but it's good for now. We can unlock the trunk from inside the vehicle here. And we'll grab, ooh, nice. We got some annotated maps and Louisville maps. Grab those. So when you read those, they have the chance of updating your map for you. So right-click and read map. See right here, this is annotated. This is Rosewood. And it says ends right here. Stash some gas here next, ends right here. So, not sure what ends right here means. It's in red, so we know there's guns here, which is nice. I believe that might be the school in Rosewood. Community services. And this might be the location of some zombies, unfortunately. So, if you check our main map, we zoom out here, we can now see that, yes, we have a little bit new information on Rosewood itself. We know there's some guns in one of these houses, and probably zombies over there, which most community areas have zombies. Let's read these Louisville maps next. Looks like Northwest Louisville, sort of a city layout map. And the second one, sort of Southwest Louisville. Okay. Now what's cool is we can grab these and just leave them here in the glove compartment, because if we tap M, we will now notice that we have updated maps of Louisville. So we get a little bit more lay of the land before we even get to go there. Louisville will be a long-term destination for this playthrough. I'm going to make a few other stops before we try to get there. It is the most zombie-rich area of the game because it's the big city. Population density means zombie density. Okay, keep moving along here. Ooh, we got a little patch of zombies up there. Let's back away. Looks like we've drawn at least 4 of them. Again, I'd like to use that fence to start knocking them out, but I don't want to get too close to that group, because they will see me. Here we go. Getting my frying pan ready for another round of cooking here. Be gone, foul beasts. Another useful tip is while fighting, you can sometimes stand directly on the chest of a zombie to prevent it from actually getting back up. So it gives you a little bit more time to kind of work around. Ooh, another Louisville map. So we learn more about the surrounding area there. Now, if you crouch and tap Q, you can actually whisper to the zombies. Now, make sure you're crouched. If you're standing up, you'll shout. And shouting is basically as loud as a gunshot. Well, maybe not as loud as a gunshot, but it's pretty loud. You're going to get a lot more attention than you want. Alright, we'll creep a little bit closer to the group. And again, you don't always have to hit Q. Sometimes they'll just notice you and start walking your way. We can back off towards the fence again. And this is what I was talking about, that fence technique. You want to just one at a time. Again, if they crawl all the way over the fence, they can crawl along the ground and try to trip you by your ankles, so be very cautious. When you're doing the fence technique, you only really want to be working on one zombie at a time. Let's give them a whisper if they can hear me. Hey, zombies. You like brains? I got a couple brain cells left. I'm whispering to a zombie, so I'm clearly not that smart. Alright, here comes another one. Back off a bit more. Very loud birds. Alright, take this guy down here. And I usually like to whack them a couple times. Press spacebar. You want to knock them down. If you get them off balance and knock them down, they're a lot easier to dispatch. Like that. And always aim for the head. Nothing there. Okay, I'm gonna take a little peek inside this house. Hold on, did I see a zombie over here? Yeah, there's a zombie sitting on the side there. Always be careful when you're going around corners for those kind of chill zombies. They're taking a little breather. I didn't know zombies needed to rest, but I guess even the dead need to rest sometimes. Wearing a neck brace? Gotta protect your neck. Come on. There we are. Another digital watch from my collection. Again, that's the beauty of keen hearing. Let's say I wasn't looking at the zombie. I'll hop this fence real quick. Okay, I'll just do a quick demonstration of keen hearing. So let's say I'm not looking at the zombie, I'm looking completely the wrong way. I'm still going to see it pop up in my keen hearing radius here before it's even in my view. That's why it's like having eyes in the back of your head. I can't tell you how many runs I've had end because a zombie just snuck up on me when I was hot wiring, or not hot wiring, but looking in a trunk, looking at, under the hood of a vehicle, generally searching for loot of some variety. The zombie will just casually walk up to me and end my run. Nothing too great there. Let's go inside the house. Nope. So we're gonna go through the window. There we go. Again, my character is getting a little drowsy, so this indicates that it's about 10:30 p.m. Let's see if this is a relatively safe house to hang out. Ooh, a satchel. This could be our first bag here. Let's equip on back. It's not a purse, it's a satchel, okay? Indiana Jones wears one. And we got a fresh peanut butter sandwich as a reward. So let's go ahead and eat that. Delicious peanut butter sandwich. No jelly, just the way I like it. Not a big jelly fan. Okay, we'll take a little swig out of the sink here. We can drink from the sink. We can fill our water bottle. Your character automatically takes swigs from the water bottle if there's water in it. But I like to, if the water bottle's empty, I drink from the sink first, then I fill my water bottle. And we got some fresh items. I'm just going to move these up into the freezer. Again, that's part of my freeze everything policy. Just gives you a bit more time to decide whether or not you want to eat it. It's almost 11 o'clock, so I think we're going to actually try to sleep here. Because I've killed most of the zombies in the area. Doesn't seem to be that busy. And my character is getting sleepy, so let's lay down for the night. I could set an alarm on my digital watch. However, I don't think I'm going to mess with that right now. Because I don't want that waking up any nearby zombies with the loud noise. So we'll just put all these items in my... I'll keep the pen on my inventory. But all these are going to go into the satchel. And again, what the satchel does is it reduces our encumbrance. So 30 means 30% less. So an item that weighs 10 pounds, if we put it in the satchel, will weigh 7 pounds. Alrighty, gang. We're going to go ahead and right-click on the bed and go to sleep. Bed quality is good. So that means we'll have a decent night's sleep, hopefully. Again, ideally we can wake up before 6 a.m. so that we can catch our morning show. Oh, it might be a little late, but let's see. I turn the TV on here, and I turn it right to Life and Living. Tune in. I'm a cow. Carrots if you want. Okay, I guess. Caught the tail end of the cooking show, but that's better than nothing. Also, it helps with your boredom. Boredom is not much of an issue in the beginning of the game because you're shocked and horrified that there's a zombie apocalypse occurring. However, later on, things do get a little dull. So we'll take a drink, fill our water bottle, and we'll wash ourselves. We're also going to wash all clothing. We can click this little clock icon here to skip to the end of the task. It helps when you're doing something very repetitive like washing clothing. There we go. That's all skipped. And we'll have some breakfast here. Fresh frozen. We'll grab grapes and... I don't know if I want... So, we'll just grab grapes, jalapeno, and lemon, throw them in the inventory, and we're going to let them thaw out. If they're still freezing, they give you a little bit of a debuff. Nobody wants to eat... Well, frozen grapes are actually pretty tasty, but you don't really want to eat frozen fruits and veggies. You want them to thaw first. Cooked is even better, but beggars can't be choosers in the zombie apocalypse. Okay, I don't like that guy. He's just kind of hanging out there. Keep creeping towards this house. See if I can get in. Open front door, nice. Again, sometimes those alarm clocks are set to go off, so it's sort of like a time bomb at moments, but... Ooh, crowbar! I'm gonna grab both of those. Crowbars are insanely good. Fingerless gloves as well, I'll wear those. But yeah, crowbars are probably my favorite weapon in the game, so... Banana! Actually, I'm gonna eat that banana for breakfast. Got our all-important potassium in. And let's see here. It looks like we have some soup, pasta fresh, uncooked. You know what? This would be a great time to go over how to cook. We're going to click on the oven here. We'll turn it on. Then click the ground. We drag this pasta into the oven itself. Now again, after a couple days, everything that's left out on counters will have been spoiled or rotten. But for now, it's cookable. See here, it's starting to cook. You don't want to leave an oven on unattended. Just like in reality, you can cause a fire, so keep an eye on it. You can also burn food, which means it's a lot less effective. So we're going to let this cook through, and then we'll kill the heat. Luckily, the oven is pretty loud to let you know that it is still on. Turn off the heat now, and we'll pull that pasta out while it's still nice and hot, fresh cooked. It says unhappiness plus 18 because technically I guess it's burning. Let's can we add we can add jalapeno as a spice. Let's do that. Okay, so we have jalapeno pasta, so better hot. Okay, is it not still hot? That was fast. Huh, okay, well, let's just place item here. I think we need to put it in a container to remove some of that debuff, so see if we have any bowls, perhaps? If not, I can just eat it as is. Grab a band-aid there. I think I might just grab a setting of this. Yeah, let's just grab a serving. Right-click and grab. And then right-click again, and oh, I can't even eat it right now. Interesting. I guess I need to have a way to eat it. Maybe I need a spoon. Yeah, let's grab the spoon here. And then what can I do? Can I right-click it? Yeah. Can I eat it with a spoon straight out of the pot? I've eaten pasta like that plenty of times in the past. Doesn't look like it. Do I equip the spoon? Equip primary. Spoon equipped. Still nothing. Interesting. That might be something they updated. Maybe you have to use an actual bowl to portion it into. Well, that's interesting. Okay, let's make sure we have our frying pan equipped. Put the spoon down, and we'll just walk away for now. That's all right. We'll grab some ice cream. Ice cream is always good. It's a massive calorie intake, but it will fill you up for a good little while. Now let's head over to this next house here. Again, you can hold shift and sprint and kind of run over the fence, but you might trip. So I use E to cross fences. I'm going nice and slowly. Excuse me. Fresh bread, peanut butter, dish towel, and another oven with a saucepan of rice. I'm not going to worry about that right now because if we don't have a bowl, I guess we can't eat it. Let's freeze the cheese and the lemon, and I'll eat... Oh, let's drink this milk. Get some calcium going. And here's another nice little tutorial on cooking. Drink the milk. That's gone. Grab the peanut butter and the bread. And if we right-click on the bread, we should be able to create a peanut butter sandwich. Do I need a knife? Maybe a meat cleaver. Let's grab that. Sliced bread, yes, with the meat cleaver. So now we have bread slices. So 1 loaf equals 3 slices of bread. We can create a sandwich from peanut butter. Boom, peanut butter sandwich. So let's go ahead and I think I could actually make a couple of peanut butter sandwiches. So bread slices, I guess they come in pairs, which is kind of cool. And there we are, 3 peanut butter sandwiches. We still have a little bit of leftover peanut butter. So let's actually chomp that directly right now. Again, you got to eat the food while you can. You want to stay not overfed, but fairly well fed throughout the early game, because it'll all become a distant memory and you'll be starving day by day as the game goes on. Ooh, rifle. This uses 223 rounds, and we have some there. One thing to be concerned about, though, is that the rifles are usually pretty heavy. So, if I grab that, that means we're going to have to go pretty much straight back to the car. Put it in our station wagon. So let's grab the ammo and the rifle. And let's see. Yes, I am now overburdened. Fairly heavy load. So that makes you worse at pretty much everything. Worse at running, worse at sneaking, worse at fighting. So I do like the idea of having a rifle early in the game. Again, weapons, or specifically firearms, are very dangerous to use because they're extremely loud. So you don't really want to use them unless absolutely essential. But sometimes they are essential. So let's jog back to the station wagon and we can drop this rifle off. Do a little bit of inventory management. And at that point, it'll probably be time for our 12 o'clock show on the TV. Looks like we have another zombie hanging out near the convenience store. Again, overnight, they will migrate from one area to another. Sometimes they'll spawn in all together. She dropped her beret. Another digital watch. That was a beret, okay. Don't want to be doing too much combat, so knock out the ones that we have to. We'll make our way... Ooh, walkie-talkie. Again, I'm just grabbing small electronic devices because they're really good for leveling up electrics. You see there, I officially broke my frying pan. Which is why you always want to have a backup weapon. In this case, we have the club hammer, which I don't really want to use too much for combat, so hopefully we can just get to the station wagon. And I would ideally like to switch from that. I'll grab one of these crowbars, so we'll equip primary. And a crowbar you can equip in both hands for better swinging power, so let's right-click on it here. The orange dot means it's equipped. Equip in both hands, so now I'm using both hands to swing. It's a lot more effective for attacking zombies. I know that I've got one there, so I'm going to keep an eye on him while I'm doing a little bit of inventory management. I'm going to pretty much pull everything out of my satchel, put it in the trunk. This rifle might take a little too long to move. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Alright, and then we'll worry about the rest of it in a moment here. Again, eventually I will move the station wagon, so I don't want to scatter too many zombie bodies in front of it and behind it. Okay, that guy surely will see us in a minute, but for now, let's grab the rest of our items here. Meat cleaver. We're gonna eat some of these food items, so just do that. All right, and he's bothering me, so let's just go take him out. Looks like he's got a club foot. Ooh, March Ridge map. Okay, we'll read that. Okay, just a general layout map. Good to know. Nothing else of interest right now. And I should have grabbed scissors, because when you start finding leather coats in the early game, it's great to snip them up using scissors. And the leather can be used to reinforce your clothes, sort of a padded armor setup. I like this little apartment up here, so we're going to kind of use this as a temporary base for our shows. Turn on Life and Living so we don't miss it, because we've got one coming up at 12. And I think now would be a great time to do some snacking, so we'll eat our grapes. This ice cream I'm actually going to throw in the freezer for now. And also we can throw these... Well, pickles don't really need to be refrigerated. Just like in reality, the pickling itself is good to maintain them, but we will throw... yeah, let's do the jalapenos and the peanut butter sandwiches. That can all get frozen. So again, our sort of operations weight here is about 3.8 pounds. That's with a club hammer, a fairly full water bottle, and of course some basic medicine. Drink, fill. And again, washing yourself helps out a little bit with your stats. It kind of makes things operate a little bit better. Slightly better in combat, and you're a little less likely to get injured or gain a new illness. So, just like in reality, stay clean, folks. It's a lot healthier. And we'll wash all clothing. Do a little slight fast forward here. Woodcrafts, okay. Got some more woodcraft points going on here. Hey, gain some carpentry. So if we click over here, we can actually see our stats. The heart, we got skills, and here it'll show we got first level in carpentry unlocked, level of cooking, got some work done on the fishing. And again, all these skills are just from watching TV at this point. We did a little bit of cooking, I guess, by making the peanut butter sandwich and the pasta, but for the most part, this is just from TV. Also here, you'll see short blunt has gone up from using the, I believe that's from the frying pan. I think the crowbar counts as long blunt. And maintenance goes up as well, using certain weapons. I think it goes up when you use blunt weapons, but we'll keep an eye on that. Light-footed, nimble sneaking, that's all from being a burglar. And our fitness and strength are solidly in the middle area. Again, part of that is because we are still overweight. Over here, you see overweight. My weight is 95 and decreasing slightly. So that means even with all the stuff I've been eating, full pints of ice cream, peanut butter sandwiches, I guess grapes aren't that bad. But even with all that, I'm still losing weight. So we are definitely getting our cardio in the world of Project Zomboid here. 12:30. Just check the map. Again, I like to kind of stay in a little vicinity, kind of spiraling outwards, clearing one street at a time. I think that would be a good time to check these three houses on the right here. So let's do that. Again, early game, you're looking for kind of the easy pickings, right? You're looking for food that will spoil sooner than later, so you might as well eat it. You're looking for weapons and houses, maybe skill books, medicine. This hammer is good to keep. It's basically the same as the club hammer, but the club hammer might be better for combat. I hear a zombie. Yeah, front door. Okay, so they're going to come in eventually. But let's not worry about that just yet. I'd rather keep this front door intact. So let's pop it open. I'm going to back away. We're going to have a little Benny Hill chase around the dining room table. And we'll leave them back outside. Because again, I prefer to do combat outside. And there you can see that crawl. That was the swipe crawl they do. Try to trip you up. Taken down. Alright. Closing that door. Let's close this window too. That way we have a little bit of a leeway. Again, if it's the first time you're exploring an area, it's not a bad idea to keep the front door open. Because if you see a zombie inside, you might want to be sprinting out quicker than you were in. But breaking some rules right now. Alright, let's see what they got in the kitchen. Water bottle, pineapple, onion, lime. Okay, we'll throw all these in the freezer. Actually, I might go ahead and eat... Ooh, they got a lot of stuff in the freezer. Let's eat the pineapple now. Guess we could just eat a whole pineapple. So, I couldn't eat pasta with a spoon out of the pot. But I can eat a pineapple as is. Good to know. Some more dry food. That's nice. Okay, so this is a nice little food house. Keep that in mind for later on. Grab a couple of these garbage bags. Again, you're going to want a lot of rain collection barrels for when the water system eventually fails. Because unless you're near a body of water, you're going to be hurting for some hydration. Ooh, looks like we have some unfortunate victims of the apocalypse in here. Okay, open that window. We'll take care of our friend here. And let's pop inside and see what's shaking. Oh, again, you tap E to open a window, you hold E to go through it. If the window is broken and you're wearing no gloves or fingerless gloves, make sure you clear the glass from around the window before you climb through it. Otherwise, you will hurt yourself. This guy had a pistol. I think these folks didn't die from zombies. Let's check it out here. Zombies coming through. We'll make ourselves scarce. Grab these vitamins. Just gonna let them kind of bang their heads against the wall there. This is a very minimalist house, so I'm not too worried about keeping it nice. Nothing in there. Oh, there's some canned food in the kitchen. Okay, that's good to know. Might come back for that. Again, we will just close that up for now and let those zombies sort of do what they will. Again, if you can avoid combat in this game, that is more ideal than trying to fight everything. You do want to level up your abilities, but you don't want to take on too much too early. So right here, I'm going to stand on this one. Oh, I got a twofer. Two at the same time. Looks like one of those might have been a former cop. Okay, there's some zombies chilling by the fence over there. Let's clear this house first. I see one in the living room. Front door's unlocked. Check the fridge, nothing going. Basic canned food. I've been getting lucky with a lot of canned food in this starting neighborhood, so that's nice. I think there's somebody in here. Oh no. Okay, that must be in one of these rooms. As you can see the door wiggling. Yep, okay, that's this guy we saw in the living room over here. It's a bedroom. Okay, done and dusted. A key. Put the key on the key ring. Always good to have extra keys. You never know what they'll unlock. I'm not sure if keys weigh anything. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I don't know if it's depending on the update or what. But maybe y'all can let me know that. Screwdriver, yay! So we'll grab one of these. We don't really need two. Shell suit jacket. Can we wear that? Ooh, look at that. Fancy. Now we're in the 90s. If you weren't already aware, I believe this game occurs in the year 1992. Hence the VHS tapes and the cassettes and whatnot. There are CDs, but if I recall, CDs were fairly new at the time. Most people were still rocking cassette players. You might have a CD player in your car. Zeds here. If I could find a better backpack, I'd be very happy. A satchel is very stylish, but it's not the most effective form of transporting our inventory. I think the best backpack in the game is the big hiking bag, which does some crazy like 85% reduction of the encumbrance. So 10-pound item goes down to like 1.5 pounds, so it's very, very useful. But generally, those are a lucky find if you find them at all. Ooh. These little utility closets are where you find some really good stuff. Usually you find your sledgehammers or ropes. Oh my goodness. Duct tape. Okay, we're fighting inside. I'm not worrying about trying to drag these guys out. Again, you can see with the green outline, you can hit two at the same time with certain weapons, mainly the crowbar. Very useful for that. This guy already had his head wrapped up. It's like he knew where I was going to hit him. Alright, check the bodies. Nothing good. Again, you could dye your hair if you want in this game. White hair dye. That's kind of cool, actually. Let's take that. Maybe I'll look like Sephiroth, the fallen angel. Okay. You know what? Let's see if we can cook this rice. I'm going to grab the saucepan with rice, put it in the oven. I don't know if I can eat it, but I'll try cooking it. We got canned spaghetti bolognese, a fork, fresh pear. Let's eat that. Anything in the freezer? Yeah, some ground beef, a meat patty, and ground beef. I'm be making burgers. All right. And again, I usually kill the heat just before the cooking is complete. That way we guarantee we will not overcook or burn the dish. So I'm going to turn that off now. Again, the oven maintains some of its heat just like in real life. Pull that saucepan. And it still says unhappiness. I don't know why. Can we add... Ooh, tomato paste. That's a spice. Alright. And look at that. So maybe I just need a little bit extra flavor in it. We'll eat the tomato paste rice. Let's eat all of it. Really get on their calories, and that saucepan we'll just put back on the cupboard because I don't really need it right now. That was a delicious home-cooked meal, surrounded by some homegrown zombies. Okay, jewelry, nothing very useful. Let's check across the street. I don't think I killed that guy. Looks like he might have gotten attacked when the outbreak started. Again, we're coming up on 1800 here, not too long from now. So we don't have to be at our home base, but we want to be somewhere with a safely watchable television set so that we can watch our shows. Again, I'm trying to be very vigilant about watching the shows because it gives you a huge leg up with those skills in the first week of the game. And again, by holding right-click down and sort of moving my mouse to the edge of the screen, that's how I'm kind of gazing into the distance. See, now that actually looks like a pretty nice station wagon over there. Let's go up here. And I'd like to knock out these zombies from the back of the house. I know there's a small pack in front of it. So if I can get these guys knocked off. Again, there's two fences back to back. That's a little sketchy for movement. So I'm just going to fight these guys in the backyard here. should be witnessing my arrival. Yep, there we go. Again, you can stand on one zombie to prevent them from standing up. Gotta be careful though, because sometimes they will still get up. You also don't want to be standing on what they call a crawler zombie. Sometimes they'll just crawl around on the ground. And those ones don't actually have the animation for standing up, so careful there. He has scissors sticking out of him, so I know I can grab these. Got a little damage, but that's okay. I'll be using this to cut up anything that I find that is leather. So now I'm going to be a little bit more careful. If I find anything leather, I'll slice it up. We can start using that to pad our clothing. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're just crawling inside, I guess. Crawling back out. There we go. Okay, I don't like this. Let's get around to the side of the house. Again, any more than 2 or 3, you want to start creating distance. Get them going in a conga line mode. It's basically take a number. Each time I hit them, a new one comes to the front to receive the wrath of the crowbar. Sometimes you can hit 2 at the same time, but don't count on it. That's usually just a kind of a freebie. Also, I believe hitting multiple zombies at once might do a little less damage to each of them, so there we go. Alright, what do we have? Anything useful? Nothing leather yet. Keep our eyes peeled for leather. Items of clothing. Also, we're getting pretty close to 1800. Which means it's almost time for our shows. See right here, I don't think my fingerless gloves will prevent this broken glass from hurting me, so we'll remove broken glass. You have to have an item equipped. In this case, a crowbar is perfect. That'll sweep all that broken glass out of the windowsill. Now you can climb through safely without cutting yourself. And of course, I picked the one house without a TV. So I'm actually going to ditch and run across the street here. Actually, let's stay on this side of the road. Ooh, okay, let's get creative. Got 20 more minutes. I'm going to go back. In here, you can see we're getting a little exerted. Off the fence. I know there's a TV in this house. Actually, they have a satellite dish, so they're getting those nice channels. They're getting those premium channels. But what we want is life and living. Switch it there. Tune in. Turn the volume down a little bit. Excellent. Perfect timing. And you can right-click on the couch to actually rest. This will actually help with our exertion. And we're getting our nature experience here. If we click on our info, go to skills, you'll see our maintenance is still going up, which means that that's what the crowbar is helping with. And this is survival. Oh, this is for farming. Okay, so this is increasing our farming ability. Showing us that, yes, even with bare hands, you can dig a hole and put a seed in it. There's a reason it's level 1 experience here. But look at that, we already got a level in farming. And that's it. That's the show for the day. So we'll turn that back off. And let's see, it's 6:30 p.m. So it's already starting to be dusk. Not much sunlight left. However, we're fairly rested up, so we can take a stab at clearing a few more houses before we call it a day. I'm probably going to go back to the clinic as our home base. Unless we find a comfortable sleeping spot before then. Ooh, a school bag. I'm glad I checked this guy. This is our pre-victim here. The school bag is better. Look at that, encumbrance reduction 60. So double the encumbrance reduction of the satchel. So the satchel will take out the pistol. And we can unequip this. I might hang on to the satchel though, because it does help sometimes to keep bags. You can use them to sort of do quick inventory sorts. You can create like a go bag. So I can now fill the satchel with maybe a bunch of guns or maybe some medicine. So it does help for items like that. We'll grab everything we're not actively using. I'm going to keep the scissors on me because it's good for cutting up stuff, but we'll put everything else in our school bag. And you'll see our inventory number drop back down to a much more manageable 6.8. And we're going to have to knock out a few zombies before I take a peek at the station wagon here. Come on, Grandma. There it is. Okay, leather jacket. So we right-click that and we can click rip clothing since we have the scissors. Again, you want to keep an eye out, make sure you're not doing this in front of zombies. But now look at all these leather strips. Throw those in the backpack so they weigh less. That's going to help out when we start leveling up our tailoring experience. Is this Steve Jobs? Alright, take the digital watch. You can also use the scissors to cut up denim pants, and I believe that gives you denim strips. In this case, dirty rags. We'll throw those back on the ground. So I don't think his pants counted as jeans or denim. But denim strips are similar to leather. They're not as effective, but they do still give you a bit more resilience to scratches and bites in your clothing. Here we have a cozy little house. You can click the light switches to turn on the lights. And again, I always toggle the door when you get inside somewhere. That basically means it's unlocked now for future use. Might as well eat what we find. We eat the grapes and the lettuce. Take a look around the kitchen. Oh, a freshly cooked patty. Again, we'll eat that just to pack on some more calories. Because that would spoil quicker than anything else. Otherwise, not a lot going on in this house. Let's check the trunk. It's locked. Let's check under the hood and see what kind of station wagon this is. Not too shabby, actually. The gas tank could use a little bit, and the back left tire is kind of whacked up. But otherwise, decent vehicle, no gas in it. You can hop in the driver's, unlock the trunk from inside. Always check the glove compartment, because you might find, in this case, the Chevalier Cerise wagon key. Put that on our key ring. So now we don't have to hotwire this thing, we can just use the key. And go back and check the trunk here. Toilet paper, we don't really need that right now, so we'll leave it. But now we have a vehicle that needs gas, but otherwise we can pop the key in and drive it whenever needed. Some more Zeds up here. We are getting a little drowsy, so I'm going to fight a few more. And we'll probably call it a day here. Okay, nothing going there. Might be a leather coat. Leather jacket, yes. Rip that up. Okay. Again, I try to do that pretty much right after the kill unless I'm fighting a bunch of zombies because I will forget to do it otherwise. That's just a personal thing. Let's see if we can pop this window open. Some people lock their windows pretty tightly, but as a burglar we can get into most houses fairly easily. Make sure the front door is unlocked now. Check in the bathroom. Again, adhesive bandages are always nice to grab because they're super light. And they'll help you out in a pinch. You can kind of slap them on in the middle of a fight. It won't take too much time. Somebody was having a party. What I really want is the chips. I'll grab the beer. Yeah, we'll grab a couple beers. Why not? Enjoy ourselves. Nothing in the trunk. Nothing really going there. Yeah, this isn't the best house, so I'm not worried about letting them in. Ooh, we'll grab some of this food. Just grab a whole bunch before we get going. And another meat patty. Why not? Let's eat it. And you know what? I'm just gonna walk out the front door. They've smashed in the back, so we'll walk out the front. Take care of some more zombies over here. See, he had jeans on. But I'm not worried about getting denim right now. More focused on getting leather. Okay, it is currently 9 p.m. We got some tinfoil hat folks inside here. Looks like that did not save them from the apocalypse. But seems like they had a nice party at least. For the end. Okay, after a big fight inside, I always like to pop back outside because you want to see if you've attracted any other zombies nearby. Looks like we're okay for now. We'll go back in, investigate the outcome here. And I always take keys whenever possible. Tinfoil hat is funny, but not very useful. Alright. Let's check these cupboards. You see, I'm not really grabbing a lot of the canned food because it's not really a priority for me right now. I'm focusing more on the fresh stuff, things that will spoil. And that way we can chomp on those. And canned food will stay there. It's pretty much, what's the term? Non-perishable food. So we can leave it. We'll sort of re-loot these houses at a later point if we need to. Okay, at this point, it's about 9:30. My character is tired. My awareness is reduced. I'm very full, though. Dog is barking. Looks like we have a small pack that have gathered up near our clinic base, so I'm going to take them out before we go home here. Even though I am very tired, this should be safe to take out here. Okay, the more tired you are, the less damage you do with melee weapons. The worse your aim is with ranged weapons. I don't know if it's in the game yet, but I would love a bow and arrow in this game. Maybe a crossbow. That'd be cool. Guns are just too loud. A little bit of lumberjack in here. And there we are. Knocked out. Leather jacket. Rip it up. Also, leather jackets are great for defense. You can wear it to, you know, not get scratched. However, they're very, very warm. So your character will overheat, and it might not be worth all that extra heat. Tired, moderate exertion. Let's go back into the medical center. Actually, before we do that, I think I could drop some more loot off in the wagon here. You'll see I don't have a ton of space left. This is only 31 capacity. So when I fill this up, I'm going to have to either consider... I might move to a new base. This one's working pretty well right now. Alright. Let's see, it's 8:30, or no, 10:30 actually, so I need to probably getting back to my house here. Let's go up. Alright. I'm gonna throw all this fresh food here in the fridge for the most part. Anything that says fresh can be frozen, and it will stay edible for longer. Now, that's not to say it'll stay edible forever. Sometimes the frozen stuff will eventually start to turn on you. We eat some pickles. Alright. And then the chips, let's have a beer or two. Delicious. And another one here. Oh, can I not drink this beer? Is there not beer in the beer? Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Oh yeah, nice and tasty. Taking out the edge. Now I'm a bit tipsy. And I'm satiated, so I think I could probably throw the empty beer can and bottle away for now. We'll take a drink out of the sink. Oh no, I definitely don't need to drink any more liquids, but a little water to wash it down. Fill our water bottle up. And what else can we do here? We've got adhesive bandages. We'll eat the chips in the morning. Where's all this weight coming from? Oh wait, I don't want them. I'll put that in the cupboard, not the fridge. I guess just the club hammer and the scissors is weighing me down a little bit here. Alright. Oh wait, I have a spare hammer. Let's get rid of the spare hammer for now. Which one of these does more damage? Club hammer is in better shape. They both weigh the same. This club hammer can't be used to drive nails, though. That's what this hammer does. So, I think I'll put up the hammer that drives nails for now. Club hammer is more useful for fighting, which if my crowbar breaks, that's what we'll have to use, is that club hammer. Okay, it's almost midnight, so let's wash up and get to sleep here. Alright, now I'm definitely going to set an alarm on my watch so that we can catch our morning show. Because there's very likely I will sleep through 6 a.m. So let's go 5. We'll go 5:40. And let's get to sleep. There we go. And there's our alarm. Kick that off for now. We'll leave that set to 5:40 so we don't miss our shows during this first week. And we can sit back here, relax. I think we can still rest a little bit. Well, maybe not. I think we're okay, but we'll chill here and wait for the show to start. Kind of chilling out, waiting for our show. Oh, I can fast forward here a little. Forgot about that. There we go. The Cook Show. Good time to check our stats. Let's go to info. Our weight is still hovering at 95, so we're still technically overweight, but we are still going downwards. Oh, let me mute this real quick.
The ground rules were simple. 15 minutes to our sit down, split evenly between the global initiative and anything else we wanted to add. But as you'll see now in the full unedited interview, that's not how it turned out. Mr. President, welcome to Dr. Window. In a recent issue of the New Yorker, you say, quote, 60 years old, is that what drives you in your efforts to help in these developing countries? Yes, I really, but I don't mean that's sort of more that you said. I mean, that's sort of a weakness. But the way I said it, the tone in which I said it was actually almost whimsical and humorous. That is, this is what I love to do. It is what I think I should do. It is I have a wonderful life. I got to be president. I got to live it out in my dreams. God forbid it. We don't have problems.
Okay, let's check here. I'm going to go ahead and click off of the TV. And we'll do one little thing here. I'm going to check something out before we keep going. I'm on, I think, day 3 or 4 of this playthrough. I just started up the Zomboid playthrough here. Yes, it is the 7/11. I believe the outbreak started on, or the playthrough starts on July 9th. So this is the third day, 9th, 10th, 11th. Yeah. Just starting up day number 3. Already got a whole bunch of dead Zeds surrounding Courtman Medical here. Yeah, I don't know what to do about the bot thingy, but we'll see. Let's look at our map. Where are we going today? Let's head up the road here. Basically up this back road, and we'll head around here, see what's going on in this area. Don't really feel like fighting that guy for now, so leave him in the dust. And I've done a lot of residential, so I'm gonna look for some more commercial properties today. Goes. Hey, a revolver. I like this bulletproof vest. That's good to have, so we'll wear that. Again, it's a little toasty. But that's better than our shell suit jacket, which we will drop. The holster's good as well, so let's wear that. Take care of this guy. Looks like we ended up fighting him after all. I don't know if I really want to grab that revolver, though, right now. It's kind of heavy, so we'll avoid that for the time being. Again, I'm not a big fan of guns in this game. Once you start using them, it usually means you're near the end of your playthrough, if you catch my drift. Okay, what do we have up here? More Zeds. Ooh, some nicer looking 2-story houses. Okay. Scary music tells me we have incoming. See, that one started crawling. Gotta be careful of the crawlers. Right. We'll do our usual leather check. Ooh, Martridge map. We'll read that. Okay, just another generic map. We'll leave that on the body then. And let's see here. Keep going up this road for now. I will check out that house sooner than later, but I want to see if we can find a community building. So they generally have a lot more diversity of resources in them. Be gone! Mini walkie-talkie. Okay, not too worried about... Oh, that's a big patch. Let's crouch here. Okay, see, this is where things start getting a little dicey. When you start seeing these larger patches, and even as far as the game is concerned, those are considered small batches of zombies when it's 5 to 10. But what I want to do is essentially stay a healthy distance away. Let's say about, 200-300 feet. And we can fight a zombie. What we're hoping is that we'll basically level up in long blunt. Excellent. We're hoping that we basically only have 1 or 2 of them kind of notice us fighting, and then they'll start peeling off one at a time. You can see here they're not all looking at me, so if I walk a little closer without crouching, a couple of them will notice me and start heading my way. You can be ready to walk away as soon as one starts coming towards you. Do a quick jog. Also, keep an eye on your exertion. If you get overexerted, you're going to have a bad time. Let's eat these chips while we wait, since we're kind of hungry. Can't imagine having much of an appetite, given the circumstances, but you gotta eat. Knocking out a few more of these bad boys. Okay, nothing of note on them. Let's see here. Check something real quick here. Okay, good to know. We'll get back into it. Okay, I want to crouch here, get a little closer to this group, and peel off a couple more zombies to fight. Again, at this point, I'm just trying to soften up this area, so I don't want to be fighting 100 at once, but ideally, you know, 1 or 2 at a time. And if you can avoid it, try to fight them off of the road so that you can actually drive a car through here. You can move the corpses, but it's a lot better to just leave the corpses on the grass on the side of the road, so you don't have to worry about moving them all around. If your car drives over a zombie, dead or alive, there is a chance that it could take damage, and worst case scenario, you blow out a tire, which means your car will be useless. So you don't want that to happen, especially if you got a big horde following you. Again, I still have some moderate exhaustion. You can actually just pop a squat. If you right-click and sit on ground, and you can still hold right-click to kind of spin around in place while you're sitting on the ground, just to keep an eye on the surrounding area. But that will basically make your exertion go way faster, because you're literally popping a squat, you know, kind of taking a break, taking a breather. Let's check our status here. Still looking good. All right. Again, if you press any of the movement keys, you'll stand back up. But there is a little delay when you go to stand up. It's not instantaneous, so make sure you are on your feet before the zombies are anywhere close to you. Looks like we've got a few more coming our way here. Ooh, hold on. I see somebody over there is wearing a backpack. I don't know if that's any better than the one I've got on, but we'll check that out in a little bit here. Okay. And another March Ridge map. Well, a lot of people have these generic March Ridge maps. I don't know why. Louisville. Oh, that's kind of central Louisville, around the Central Park area. So that's good to know. And again, if you are in a sticky situation, you don't want to be taking time to read all these maps. But for me, I believe that knowledge is power in a game like this. The more knowledge you have, the better off you are. So, you know, we've uncovered a good chunk of the Louisville area here by reading the maps. Now, you could go online, you know, and just look at the map. But I like the in-universe kind of discover as you go, or find it through natural means, the way I've been doing it. It's a little bit more immersive. See right there. That's the scary part about the fences. He could have theoretically bitten me, and that would have been the end of my run. Let's check our protection here. In fact, look at that. My right shoe. My right foot there got pretty jacked up because he bit it. Luckily, I'm wearing those strong boots, so it absorbed most of the bite. I don't know if that was a bite or a scratch, but if we go here and we scroll down to the military boots, you'll see that their condition is a little bit lower. So I need to look to replace those sooner than later, if possible. The school bag is the same as the one I was wearing, but what you can do is click any bags and drag them to the floor so that you can search them individually. Because you can't search them while the previous owner is still wearing it. On that note, you'll see that we are getting close to 11, which means we're getting close to 12, and time for our next show on TV. So I'm going to go into sneak mode here, check the corner. I'm going to see if I can't sneak inside this house, and pop the TV on really quietly here. Ooh. Okay, we're already on Life and Living TV. So that's ready to watch whenever we need it. Again, the newspapers will come in handy later on in the game because you'll start to get a little bored. So your character will want these word searches, newspapers, they'll kind of consume them to stave off their boredom. For now, we're going to enjoy some delicious dairy. Milk, yogurt, good stuff. Not sure if freezing it does any penalty in Project Zomboid, but I know that frozen milk and frozen yogurt aren't super tasty in real life, so we're just going to eat them. Well, froyo's nice, but, you know, a little different than just putting a yogurt in the freezer. Gun case. Ooh, look at that. So if we put this on the ground, we can get inside of it. We've got an M9 pistol with a magazine and 2 boxes of ammunition. So I think we'll take this entire case and put it in our backpack. Now again, that doesn't really lighten the load twice, but what that does is kind of keeps it all sort of organized for us. That'll come in handy a little later on. And let's take a drink from the sink. We can fill our water bottle. Oh, there's some soap here. Actually, we'll grab that soap. It's fairly light. Soap will make, basically, when you clean yourself and your clothes, it'll happen a lot quicker and more effectively. So, it's not terrible to have soap or even liquid soap on hand. We can right-click this little Barker Lounger here and rest. Now, there's not an animation currently to show that we are, in fact, sitting on the chair, but you will see the icon above our head as if we are reading or eating. And that is sort of a rest meter. When that fills up, we'll have effectively rested as well as can be expected on that chair. Alright, let's fast forward time just a little bit here. And we'll get to our episode of Life and Living here. Seahorse Coffee. Oh, this is a commercial. We want information. There we are, woodcraft. So we get from carpentry. And our boredom, of course. Sorry, ladies, but the shirt is still on. Okay, Bob Vila here is getting very, very sensual. Let's get to the information, Bob. There we go. Now, what's fun is the actual things they say are true, right? 5 planks, 4 nails, that's how you make a chair in the game. So, while you do learn these recipes from the TV shows, the actual content of the show itself translates directly to the game, so that's kind of nice to know. But again, as long as your character knows it and they have the correct materials, you'll be able to construct whatever the recipes that they know. So floors, walls, chairs, doors, all that jazz. Fence is a big one to know. That'll help you secure a base in the future. And boom! Another level of carpentry. So we have 2 in carpentry, 2 in cooking, 1 in farming. We are well on the way to becoming a functional survivor. And then once this is done, we will turn it off. I like to turn off the TVs, just so they don't attract nearby zombies, but also because I don't know how true it is, but if no TVs in your area are on, you get a little wiggle room when it comes to actually watching a show. So let's say it's like 12:10, and you turn on the TV, Woodcraft or whatever your noon show will actually start up when you turn the TV on, and you won't have already missed a third of it. Again, I'm not sure how true that is, but for me that seems to be the case in single player. On multiplayer, all bets are off. For multiplayer, in the early stages, somebody's always watching TV. You'll see here I'm washing my clothes a lot quicker because I have this soap. So it automatically gets used up as I wash. But it is much faster. And honestly, I'm just going to throw it away. It's not very much use anymore. So we got zombies that have moved on, it seems. Yeah, they moved on to that house to my left. I'm going to briefly check the map. But not too far, because I know there's Zeds nearby. And let's keep going down here to the southeast of this road. So again, I'm staying crouched, but you can crouch and hold shift to kind of jog at the same time. do see a green building coming up, so that is a retail building. Looks like a laundromat. Again, you want to kind of pause and do a little circular scan of your area, just to make sure you don't have a large horde creeping up on you. Because they don't really make a lot of noise until they get very close. And yep, this seems like our sort of neighborhood corner store laundromat. So laundromats aren't the best for looting, unless you're really looking to level up your tailoring ability. But you can find some leather in there. And again, in this case, the front door is locked. And I don't think there's a back door here. So what do we do when that's the case? Well, we have a crowbar, and there's a lot of windows. And if we don't care too much about the security of the building, we can hold right-click and smash a window. Remember, though, if you're not wearing gloves, or even if you are, it's always good to right-click and remove the broken glass with your crowbar, or item of choice, as long as it's in your hands equipped. And then you can safely cross through the window without getting a bunch of glass shards in your skin. Okay, we'll hold E to cross through here. And again, stepping on broken glass also generates noise. Everything in this game will usually either hurt you or generate noise, so keep an eye out and an ear open. Search some of these sinks. Again, not a lot going on in the laundromat. I mean, maybe, you know, some bleach for cleaning purposes. You know, I'll just eat some of these chips out of the snack machine here. But yeah, not the best looting spot. Let's keep making our way up this little path. I do see a small shed over here. This is kind of a trailer park area. Oh, here we go, the Waits Motel. Surely there's no dangerous namesake for that particular name. So that's kind of light blue on the map. So it's sort of a difference between, it's not the purple community building, but it's not a green retail. It's effectively a retail residential. So light blue is the color they use. Again, look for any zombies in your area. I'm not going to try to fight everything I see. Try to keep my pace up here. Check your supply closets. Nice metal scraps, a hard hat. That is really good defense. A little bit of insulation. We'll wear that for now. And I'm not worried about the metal scrap yet. That'll come in handy if I'm looking to level up my mechanical skills. And that's mainly for later on in the game when you're trying to, you know, repair cars and whatnot. Was that a turkey? Did I just hear a turkey? I do not know. Just sworn I heard something gobble. Speaking of gobble, there's a zombie behind that door. Oh, no, maybe it's upstairs. Oh, no, it's right here. Okay. Wouldn't you know it? I almost couldn't see him with those camo shorts on. Ooh, new military boots. Let's wear these. I'll place the ones that got bit. I'll throw those back on the corpse. And let's grab this hunting knife for future usage. That's good for use on its own. We can use it to make peanut butter sandwiches, or we can craft a spear by attaching it to a long wooden stick. Spears are pretty nice in the very, very early game as, you know, weapon in a pinch. However, they break pretty easily, and a lot of people would consider it kind of a waste of a knife. This one has a built-in oven. Ooh, fancy. They got the in-unit kitchen there. This might be the owner's spot. Let's see. Towels. Now, you can use the towels to dry off if your character gets a little wet from rain or sweat, which is never a bad idea, because if you're very, very wet, you might occasionally have a weapon slip out of your hands, and it's going to make you have a bad day. Okay, we'll fight some more of these zombies here. Again, I'm going to try to sort of back away, fight one at a time. Occasionally you can use spacebar to give them a little shove and create some more distance. The more you knock over, the better. Just be cautious. Again, they tend to make no more noise after you knock them over, or sorry, knock them out. But sometimes they're very quiet, so just be careful on that front. That hunting knife's in terrible condition, so we're not going to pick it up. Okay, that's definitely... I'm hearing a turkey. There's a turkey somewhere. Don't know where. Don't know what. We'll figure that out. I don't know what the deal is, though. I've never heard that in this game before, so... I'm either going crazy or it's just a new thing they put in. Looks like there is a burning trailer and the fire department responded. And then they all got bit and turned into zombies. Okay, that's something else entirely here. I'm hearing something. It's like squeaking noises. Let's go over here. Knock out this guy. Oh, we got a whole bunch of zombies through this trailer. You can see it through those windows. They're all smearing up against it. Maybe that was just the sound of a bunch of zombies smearing on windows? I don't even know if I want to go in there, though. There's too many zombies right now. So, especially hearing that noise. Window shattering is the sound of me deciding not to go into that trailer. I'm going to, in fact, run the opposite direction for now. We'll let the zombies kind of have their walk of the place, break anything. Was not planning on holding up on that trailer anyways. Again, if you have a nice spot that you want to keep nice, it's sort of worth defending, maybe drawing zombies away from windows and doors if you don't want them all smashed up. But times like these, they're pretty dispensable. This car is also in pretty terrible shape. I'm just going to pop the hood to see if there's any gas in the tank. No. And the engine's gone, 0%. There's no engine at all. Okay, good to know. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, firefighter clothing is very good for defense. It's also very warm, so you'll sweat like crazy. But the helmets are good. They usually have an axe on them somewhere. They're also a little trickier to knock out as a zombie because they're wearing that defensive clothing, so you got to keep that in mind. For now, I am still drowsy, and I'm moderately exerted, so I might kill these two zombies, and then maybe we'll take a rest at the motel. I don't believe I cleared the top floor of the motel, so I could do that. I'll shove. Alright. Nothing really worth grabbing. No. I do like how when you hover over clothes, it'll say whether or not it's better or worse than what you're wearing, like these sneakers. Much worse than my military boots, so they show that -100, -90 on the bite and scratch defense. Just something to kind of keep in mind while you're playing the game. And again, zombies and these little groups tend to sort of move as a herd, so they've all sort of shifted a few tiles away from that burnt trailer. And as I mentioned, I am getting a little tired, so I might take a... Oh, that's an alarm. Okay, we're bailing, we're bailing. You'll see here, all the zombies in the immediate area will start walking towards that trailer. So we are running now. We're actually going to crouch here. We're going to go upstairs. And I'm going to try to go into one of these hotel rooms. Across the window. We're going to close that behind us. Again, I'm just toggling the door to make sure it's unlocked. And we're literally just going to stay in here for a minute. No zombies, looking good. So I apologize for the sound of that alarm going off, but this is a good time to sort of take a little breather. You can see the zombies down below, walking past. I'm going to sit on the ground for a minute, try to catch my breath. Can also right-click the bed and rest by clicking on there. So the bed is a little bit more comfortable to rest on than the ground. Even though we're still sitting on the ground, we have that meter above us showing that we are technically resting on the bed. I also hear that smearing noise. That means a zombie is bumping against a window, either in the room next door, possibly the room below us. Let's check our info here. Info is looking pretty good. Protection, not bad. We could use a little bit more protection on our hands and our neck. The neck is very hard to protect in this game. Protect your neck, you know, Wu-Tang Clan style. One of the best items you can find in Project Zomboid for neck protection is the scarf. Believe it or not, a simple scarf. It's, to my knowledge, I don't know if you can create one from scratch. I think you have to find them. And they are exceedingly rare, so if somebody in a multiplayer game gives you a scarf, that is a sign of true friendship. I'm also noticing here that it is 5:30, so it's almost time for our stories. We need to go find a TV so we can watch the next episode. Is it worth risking life and limb? Probably not, but we take a peek out the window. Let's look down there. I don't see any zombies. They've probably all made their way towards these trailers. So I'm going to try to sneak around here. Again, we'll inevitably have a couple that start following us, like this guy, possibly. Yeah, a couple are walking around. We got a couple in the lobby of the hotel. You know what? Let's close that door, and we'll do a quick little cheeky run around here. Yeah, see, they're all kind of still wandering towards that alarm noise, so I might just try to fight these three, and then try to watch the TV in the manager's room there. 6 p.m. I'm so dedicated. What I'm going to try to do is a very dangerous maneuver where we run into this room, closing the door behind us. We look for a TV. There is none. Fortunately, I've made a huge miscalculation. Okay, this is now a very nervous situation here. We got a lot of zombies coming towards us, so what I'll try to do is you need to break the line of sight. I'm going to come down here, past this trailer, do a sharp cut. They're all basically in that dark zone behind the trailer. We use the trailer and these trees here to break line of sight with all those zombies. And we're going to keep sprinting here, even though we're very tired. And I think our heart is actually beating. I didn't know that was a new thing. I don't know if I'm a big fan of hearing the heartbeat in this game, but c'est la vie. Now, broken line of sight. So they're all going to be huddled around that trailer that we ran around real quick. But we can keep making our way back the way we came. I'm going to approach this house here. Again, I'm going back into crouch mode. We're going to keep walking slower here. Now, there is an unintended benefit of an alarm going off, is that it does draw all the zombies in the area, which means that all the areas around the alarm are a little bit less populated with zombies after the fact. Now, we've got a couple here that we need to deal with before going inside. That's one down. Let's get rid of this one here. Alright. That's it for the immediate area. We go inside. Is the window open? Next question, is there a TV? I think we might be too late to watch our show, unfortunately, but that's okay. We've done the best we can for now. That's the TV. Flip it immediately to Life and Living. Tune in. You got to make sure you click tune in after you change the channel. And unfortunately, it does seem as though we've missed our window, pun intended, on our TV show. Let's see. Maybe they'll give us the grace period I was mentioning earlier. Nothing? Nothing going? Shenanigans. Well, we tried. Okay, we got some sleeping pills, some suit pants, suitcase, very, very official house here. Must be a businessman. Jeans on the bed. Ooh, butter. Butter is not good for happiness, but it's great for packing on calories. So, actually, I'm going to eat this ice cream first. Leave that butter in the freezer for now. I don't really know if butter goes bad. I know a lot of people keep butter out of the fridge altogether. I assume it has to go bad eventually, but I'm not sure how the game calculates that. Got a bowl of cereal, too. Let's eat that. Delicious bowl of cereal. And also, I might keep the empty bowl afterwards, because that might help us with our pasta problem that we had earlier, where we couldn't eat any pasta. Stale cooked fish. Is that worth eating? I don't think so. We're pretty stuffed right now. Again, eating stale food, it isn't technically bad for you, but it does do a pretty big ding on your happiness and your boredom, because it's not a very fun thing to do. I'll turn this TV off, since unfortunately we missed our episode of our show. I think the 6 p.m. show is usually a survival show like fishing or farming. The 6 a.m. show is always cooking, to my knowledge, and the noon show at 12 is always carpentry. But the 6 p.m. one, I think, rotates between fishing, foraging, farming, trapping, all those sort of survival skills. Actually, right now we're approaching 8 p.m. Got a locked door there, no windows. Ay. So what can you do? If the door is locked and there's nothing to break open, what you can do is disassemble the door. Unfortunately, this is a metal door, so we need a welder mask and a propane torch. But a lot of the time, it's just a wooden door. So a simple hammer and screwdriver, maybe a saw, is all you need to actually disassemble the wooden door. So without breaking anything open or using a key, there's still a way to get through a lot of doors in this game. The ultimate solution being, of course, the sledgehammer. Sledgehammer, if you find it, pick it up and save it, whatever you do, because the sledgehammer is very, very rare to find in the wild. But once you do find it, it is basically the way to knock down entire walls, and they allow you access to a lot of things like gun shops in the game, which are usually guarded by locked doors and cages that can't be opened any other way than using a sledgehammer. Making our way past the viscera of fallen zombies. Again, I'm very tired and I have high exertion. I can barely jog, so I don't really want to fight those zombies. I'm going to keep making my way back to our base area. And again, under normal circumstances, your walking speed is faster than the zombies' walking speed or shambling speed. So you don't really need to hold shift or sprint everywhere. However, if you know you're in a relatively safe area, it is good to actually get a little bit of sprinting in, because it increases your skill in fitness, and sprinting itself is its own skill level. But yeah, fitness overall, it's great to have the ability to kind of go a little bit longer. You know, as they say in, what is it, Zombieland, cardio is one of your best allies during the zombie apocalypse. Speaking about remembering things, I noticed that on our way back we have a little bit more weight that we can hold. I haven't picked up a ton of stuff today, so we're going to grab that revolver that I left behind earlier. I could probably put it in the gun case. No, it's not going to fit in there. Okay. That way we just have more options when it comes to our arsenal of weaponry later on in the game. Again, the most successful game of Project Zomboid is when you never fire a single shot from a gun. Okay, our trunk is filling up quick. I don't even think we can put the gun case in. Nope. But here's what's cool is we can actually put the other inventory items in separate seats. So I can put this in the front right seat. And we can also unload this beef jerky and dehydrated meat stick, or Slim Jim. I'm going to put it in the glove compartment. That's where I like to keep sort of very temporary things. We'll put the hunting knife and the bowl in there as well. And we'll keep everything else on me for the time being. I thought I had an alcoholic swipe. I guess I'll have to grab one of those later on. But basically, it's always good to have a little bit of food, maybe even a little bit of water in your glove compartment of a vehicle that you intend to use. Because the worst case scenario, you might be out of all of your other areas, you might be on the run, and you might not be near any bases. But you always have a little snack in your glove compartment. Right. If you're extra paranoid, you can actually draw the blinds by clicking on them. But generally, zombies aren't going to look up into the second floor windows too often. They have to be pretty close to the direct line of sight to do that. So I'm not stressing out. Oh my goodness, there's a duffel bag in this closet. The whole time. Duffel bag. It's one of the best early game bags that you can find. And a baseball bat, even better. Okay, you'll notice here our current bag, the school bag, does 60 encumbrance reduction. The duffel bag does 65. And instead of a capacity of 15, it has a capacity of 18. So, we'll put the school bag in the closet, and we will equip this on our back, the duffel bag. Well, better late than never to find that. This leather jacket, I'm actually going to not rip it up yet, because we have a lot of leather strips already. We'll leave this intact in the closet. And the baseball bat, well, I don't know. Can I put that on my back? Yeah, we'll store that on my back for the time being. That'll be our new backup weapon. Bats don't last very long. Obviously, the crowbar will last a lot longer, being metal. But bat is not as heavy. Let's see, this is 0.6. The bat equipped on my back, at least, is 1.4. That is kind of heavy. 2.0 unequipped. But yeah, technically, let's see if I removed it from my back. Yeah, that would weigh a lot more. That's 2... But if I attach it to my back, it's only 1.4. So we're basically saving a little bit of weight there. Before we call it a night, again, it's almost 10 p.m. here. My character is exhausted from the day we've had. Let's drink from the sink and fill our water bottle. And remember that water does have weight to it, so that will be noticeable. And we'll wash ourselves and all of our clothing. Again, this is kind of a luxury in the early days of survival in Project Zomboid, because once we lose the plumbing, water is a little bit more scarce. We'll wash that all up, nice and clean. You can always check your protection. Not terrible. We could use better pants, better sleeves, definitely better gloves. As always, the neck would be nice. This is how you look at your insulation across your body. High insulation from those military boots. Also, your temperature is a good idea of if you are getting infected from a bite. You'll start to notice your body response starts warming up in certain spots. It doesn't always mean you're infected, but that is a potential indicator of infection after you've been scratched. Again, if you've been bitten, you will be infected. That's how the game works. Bites, I believe, are always infected. Scratches, I think it's a 1 in 4 chance of being infected. But for now, that's about 2.5 days survived so far. And we are going to call it a night for our 3rd day of survival. We'll leave that alarm on for the early morning so we can watch our shows. But again, if you made it this far during this particular journey of Project Zomboid, I appreciate it very much. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see the continued adventures of Tallidus in the world of Zomboid. Until next time, this has been Tallidus Plays.